Well, hello, beautiful people. My name is Venetia, and today is January 13th, 2026. It's been a while since I've done this. I think the last video I made was actually a year and a half ago, June of 2024. And I initially started making videos after I lost my boyfriend. He was killed in May of 2024. And it completely changed my entire life. It changed my life. And that wasn't my first encounter with death, like a close death. In 2016, I lost my brother. He was also killed, my younger brother. And so, this time around, the pain was definitely harder. I feel like it was a little different for me because, this was a person that I was planning to spend my life with. We communicated every single day. He was my everything. I went to him for everything, like legit my superhero. So to lose him, it changed me. And I decided to start making the videos as a healthy way, like an outlet, a diary, if you will, like my diary of grief, like a healthy way to help me get out the feelings, or get out and express the things that I felt like the people around me didn't really understand. And, my support system is lit. My family and friends were absolutely amazing, but I just, it's like they could never understand how I was really feeling because they hadn't really experienced that, so I had to find a way to pull myself out of a dark place, and the videos were helping me, and I always had intention to share them with people or anybody who may have experienced a loss and didn't know how to handle it and didn't know what to do with the emotions that they were feeling. So I have some videos that I'm gonna post, and it's me being very vulnerable. Like on some of them I cry, and I'm just transparent about how I'm feeling in the moment. And they touch on different things that you go through in grief. First of all, there's no time limit on grief. It's not, after a certain amount of years you'll be okay. It does get a little bit easier, but the pain is still there. We're going on almost 2 years in May of losing him, and the pain is always there, and so I talk about being okay with not being okay. Like every day is going to be different. Some days might be good, some days might not be good, or some moments in the day might not be good, and just allowing yourself to feel. If you need to cry, cry. I didn't hold my emotions back, and I didn't allow myself to feel weak, because I may have had a moment of sadness or a moment I'm thinking about him, and you could be happy in one moment thinking about a person, and then next thing you know, you're crying. Like grief has a weird way of showing itself, but I learned that you have to sit with the emotion, and to let the emotion flow through you. Like emotions are energy in motion, so with my brother, I think I suppressed the emotion a lot. I felt like I had to be strong for a lot of people, and I wanted a lot of people around me. My friends came almost every day, so it's like when I lost my brother, I didn't want to be by myself. But this time when I lost my partner, I wanted to be by myself. I wanted solitude. I didn't really want to be around anybody, and my friends and the people in my life were, completely understanding. So those are a couple things I touch on. Another is, finding healthy ways to cope. So first time around, I was drinking more. I was smoking. I had just started smoking maybe like 2015, like in the beginning of 2016. But once my brother died, at the end of 2016, he actually passed 3 days before Christmas. And I started smoking every day, like getting high, smoking 4, 5 blunts a day, because it just helped take me out of reality. You know what I'm saying? And every time that I would close my eyes or have a quiet moment by myself, I would think about his last moments, So I was doing anything to suppress that, like drinking, smoking, you know what I'm saying? And then once the high goes away, that pain is still right there waiting for me. So, this time around, I wanted to be a little bit different with it. Not drink any more than I usually would, or smoke any more than I, would, try to cut back on it a little bit and find other ways to deal with it. And I started to like right now I'm outside. I love being outside. In some of the videos you'll notice that I'm outside sitting by the fire pit, or what have you, just trying to like, okay, I gotta find a healthy way to do this. I gotta find a healthy way to like deal with this. Cause if not, like I ain't know if I was gonna make it for real. I had a point where I just wanted to die, but I have 3 children that need me. So I'm like, Venetia, you gotta find a way to pick yourself up out of this. So I started learning about like meditating, clearing my mind, like journaling, walking, being outside by water, putting my feet in nature, so just like finding healthy ways. You have to find something that you feel is helpful and healing to you. Sometimes we think we can drink it away or smoke it away or pop pills or lash out on people, what I'm saying, and be angry. And I understand, like, no judgment from me, what I'm saying, I get it, but it's all about you and finding a way to maneuver through this life without this person, like we don't ask to lose people in our lives, and so our responsibility is to find a healthy way to move on, because that's what they would want. Just because you lost a person in the physical doesn't mean that they're not still with you. Like I still feel my brother. I still feel my boyfriend. I still hear him, sometimes. So they're still with you, just because you can't see them. They don't want you to continue to experience pain. They want you to be happy. They want you to try to find a way to move on in life and be at peace and be happy. And that's something I struggle with too, because I felt like a betrayal, on top of me, like blaming myself and dealing with that guilt and that shame. I would feel bad for having days where I felt happy. I would feel bad for having days when, I'm smiling and I'm thinking about the future and like, okay, everything's going to be okay. It felt like, damn, I'm leaving this person behind, but you can never leave them behind. They always with you. So, another video I made was about being thankful, for the time you experience that person, whether it's a family member, whether it's a friend, whether it's a partner, no matter who it was. I started to be thankful for the 27 years that I got with my brother, and I began to be thankful for the 6 years I got with my partner. We was together, we was friends for half, and then we was in a relationship for the other half. So, excuse me, a helpful way for me was like, I'm sad that our time got short, our time got cut short, but I'm also so thankful that God loved me so much that he put you in my life that I can experience you and I can experience this love, and have the bar set high, because that man loved me. Do you hear me? That man loved me, so I took time to be thankful for that and have gratitude. Like I'm thankful that I got to experience this, even though it was cut short and like I still don't understand why it had to happen. I'm thankful, that I got to have this love, and a love that I always carry with me. So I touch on a lot of things in the video. Again, it's really in the videos, but it's really me being transparent, and I really, really hope, I set intention for it to help the people that it needs to help, for you to know that you're not alone, and it's okay not to be okay. Just take it day by day, have grace for yourself, love on yourself, and find a way to embrace this journey, of life. Like, I feel like my life took a complete detour, and then finding out things after he passed, like he actually bought me a ring. He had plans on marrying me. He asked my parents for my hand in marriage, and I found all these things out after he passed. So it took me a while. That's why it was kind of like a halt on the videos, because it took me a little while to like get myself together and find peace and find healing, you know. And it's still a journey, you know, but I'm definitely on the up and up. I feel good, and I want to help as many people as I can. So I hope the videos help you, you know, and I love you and I'm here for you, and just know that you're not alone and that everything's going to be okay. And the person that you lost, they love you and they're with you forever, and they're rooting on you. They're rooting for you. I'm not editing nothing, so this is going to be what it's going to be. But they're rooting for you, and everything's going to be okay. You know, just trust the process and know that everything's going to be all right. So, yeah, that's all.